Hey, what's up, guys?
Knowledge?
Nope, not additional knowledge for this week.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
Melbourne, the capital city of Victoria, the city that I'm living in, is internationally renowned as Australia Cultural Capital, with the beautiful laneways full of street arts, divine coffee culture, gardens and parks in every corner, as well as different variety of trails. Melbourne is definitely a wonderful cycling heaven in Australia. Also unofficially known as the cycling capital of Australia, riders see places differently. Trails tracing the coastline towards the south, riding through a range of low mountain covered with temperate rainforest to the east, endless rolling hills and quiet country roads towards the north, and plain flat route heading the west through the farmland and grassland. Enjoying riding at the different parts of Greater Melbourne is definitely an opportunity for you to enjoy different scenery and experience on each ride. Especially during this pandemic, more and more people are starting to pedal, and more people starting to do long distance ride, including myself. Indeed, long distance riding are challenging but enjoyable. For me, I got addicted, especially riding away from hustle and bustle city life. As you may not know, long distance riding, even is a casual ride, it required planning and preparation. Simple question, do you want to complete an enjoyable ride or get upset for not able to conclude the route you desire? The bottom line is I always aim for unforgettable experience and enjoyable ride, which I can also share with my mates. Ask myself some fundamental question. What's my ability? Have I done a long distance ride lately? What's my longest distance ride lately? Have I struggled or I felt comfortable on my last longest ride? Or even this question, have I ever ridden lately? So everyone is different and everyone has different abilities. I mean, it's always good to aim for higher target but be realistic. So how do I determine my ability and limits? What I usually do after every ride I completed, I will ask myself some question. How often I feel shortness of breath on my last ride? Do I start to feel aging muscle not long after I start my ride? How long it takes me to feel out of energy? And had my mood started to swing or having the thought of giving up? If I'm not struggling with this issue, I'll usually increase 5 or 10 kilometers while planning on my next ride. Slowly and slowly, you'll be able to do longer and longer distance ride. So after understanding my ability and limit, I can start to plan where am I going and how far am I going to ride. But the thing is, where can I go? There's a lot of resources nowadays on internet that we can find information regarding cycling trails or cycling paths, such as City Council website or trails, YouTube channels or maybe blogs. But for myself, I usually rely on one source, which is simple and easy to locate available trails in Melbourne. Just go on Google and search for Melbourne Bike Grid Map. After the search, choose the Melbourne Bike Grid Map, Google My Map. It will bring you up to Google Map. So in this map, it contains most of the available trails in Melbourne Metropolitan, as well as some notable trails outside Metropolitan. So besides, it also contains some connection routes between trails and some commuter routes that are suitable for riders. This map is prepared and updated frequently by Adrian Lobo. Have to say, big clap for him. Thank you, Adrian. You make my riding life a lot easier. So what's the next question? Where am I going to start my ride? Starting from home, heading somewhere with the train, or drive to my starting point? So after I decided where is my starting point, I will start designing it on Strava. As Strava allows us to load up the route that we designed as well as synchronize with our bike computer. In the meantime, I really love to use the function of route creation from Strava. It contains global heat map that showing heat made by aggregate and public activities. The main fact is the heat map updated monthly. So what is the purpose of this heat map? It tells you where usually people ride and which route is usually preferred by commuter. Besides, it is also able to calculate the distance, the time needed for a particular ride, and the elevation of the route you created. So signing up Strava is free. Unfortunately, to use the route creation features, you need to subscribe. But the fees is only $10.99 per month, and you're able to use plenty of extended features on Strava, apart just from the route creation features. So why not if you are a frequent long distance rider and you like to create your own route? When I decide a route, there's 4 fundamental facts that I will pay attention to. Is the part of the route safe and suitable for me? Where can I refill my water? Where can I catch a train home if I'm unable to continue? And who are the rescue team? So as I mentioned before in all my previous video, I'm a trail explorer. That's why I always prefer to ride on the trails. But I always do some research on every particular trail that I will ride on before I head out. Google and Wikipedia are the best place to find information for most of the trails in Melbourne. I will usually search for information such as the location of both ends. Is it gravel, bitumen? How's the quality of the path? Is it suitable for road bike or mountain bike? And what's the hazard that I need to aware of? Blind corners, steep drop into creek, gaps in trail, unsailed shoulder, zooping magpies during breeding season, snakes in summer, and the flood concern during the raining season. Apart from understanding the basic facts of the trails, I always visit some of the riding forum, Facebook riding group for any reviews on any particular trails. Besides, the website or bicycle networks provide good information regarding trail closure due to roadworks and upgrades. With this, you are most likely to be able to avoid upset or surprise due to unexpected closure and a detour is required. Sometimes I also search for some vlogs on YouTube that show the condition of a particular trail. Of course, I'm doing the same thing. In my channel, I have presented you some trails that I rode. Another good tools to understand the route condition is by Google Map, Satellite View, and Street View. So something extra. I really love history and story. Therefore, I usually search information of the trails and the suburb I rode past, such as the history and the story behind it. That's why I always do additional knowledge. Additional knowledge. Additional knowledge. Staying hydrated is necessity on a ride of any length, even in a colder climate. Most of the time I found there's no water fountain on most of the trails in Melbourne. So to avoid the issue of running out of water, so what I usually do is to plan my ride pass through some housing estate or shopping street. Why? It's simple, because if I need to refill my drinking water, I can at least try my luck to get some water from some kind resident who coincidentally is standing in front of their front yard. And then cafe and restaurant inside the shopping street are also a good places for you to refill water. But please bear in mind, do not refill your water from public toilets, of course not from the creek and the river too. In my opinion, it is important to know where is the nearest train station along my route. There is a lot of unexpected reasons that can stop me from riding. Maybe I'm too tired to continue, or I have injured myself. Or maybe my bike is broken and I am unable to fix it. Or the worst case, the weather changed badly and I'm unable to continue. So for me, train station is always the first line of the risk management. I still can rely on train service to get home. No one wants something to happen during a ride, but as I know, a lot of people never sees the importance of riding insurance. I choose bicycle network insurance because it covers 3 main areas: the medical coverage, income protection, and third party. It covers all injury during any or all recreation and commuting bike riding. Unfortunately, excluding riding to derive a commercial benefit such as racing and careering. There's still a lot of benefit from this insurance that I'm unable to tell you all in once. So I will put the link of this insurance in my description so you can go and have a look if you're interested to get one. And then the fees for individual is only $131 annually. So all things considered, why not getting one for yourself? Think about it. So usually I bring an emergency contact list and place in my front bag. Most of the time this is very important for people that found you or the emergency personnel able to contact someone that know you when you're in an accident. Provide at least 3 emergency contacts so they can try another person if one of them is unable to be reached. When it comes to a long distance riding, or even just a short ride, I usually turn on my beacon features on Strava. It allows Strava to send a link to someone you nominated and they are able to check your live location. Just in case you got lost during a long ride, someone is able to know where your location is. This will enable the rescue team to allocate you in golden hour. There are two main things I will do a day before my ride: the weather checking and my bike condition checking. I usually check the weather on the D-Day. I am very reluctant to go for a ride if the weather is very unpleasant. For instance, raining, strong wind, and scorching hot day. Having a good bike condition is the key for good riding experience. Always check your bike condition at least the day before your ride. So if you find something wrong on your bike, you have sufficient time to fix it. So what are the things that I usually check? Check the wheel condition for any cracks which are potentially cause of puncture or blowout. Check the tire air pressure as well. Of course, don't forget to check your wheel for broken spoke. It is very dangerous to travel with a broken spoke. The last thing I will check is always my chain. I always make sure I clean it and re-lubricating immediately after my ride. If it is completely covered solid with rust, then make sure you replace the whole thing. Of course, there are also a lot of things you can check about it, but the one that I just mentioned, which are most likely the one that easy to be worn out. It will be great if you always have your bike serviced. Of course, don't forget to charge your headlights, tail lights, and your bike computer. First thing I definitely do before I head out, check the weather again. Having the right meal before you ride is very important too. Low fat with high carbohydrate food is what I usually have before my ride. All these food are digest relatively quick but will give your muscle a sufficient load of carbohydrate. And please avoid high sugar added food. They can cause high rise on the blood sugar, followed by a high rise in insulin, followed by a drop in blood sugar that will make you tired. Besides, cycling on a completely full stomach can lead to discomfort, bloatedness, or even diarrhea. Dress up in a suitable and comfortable outfit is also important, especially for long distance ride. We can wear whatever we like as long as comfortable. It is best not to wear anything too baggy or loose, as it could get stuck or caught on the wear. I usually wear a cycling jersey on my ride. The best thing about cycling jersey is it will wick sweat away from our skin and evaporate. Cycling clothing can certainly help making my ride more comfortable, as well as improving my visibility to others' commuter and road user. Besides, most cycling jersey come with back pockets for you to store snacks or your cellular phone and for easy access. For cycling short, I make sure I wear a bike short regardless what reason. The soft padding inside the bike shorts provide cushion, eliminate friction, and reduce moist. I always have my gloves on. It helps to soak up the sweat, and the padding from my palm provide extra comfort from vibration pass through the handlebar. So it can also act as a first layer of defense, enough sometimes to prevent painful cuts and grazes. Apparently, I wear long football socks for my ride. They are usually thick and comfy. It also helps to prevent blisters, and the long rib of the socks able to prevent injuries and keep my leg warm during the cold climate. Regarding the shoe that I wear for my ride, I'm just wearing a normal runners. People telling me there's a lot of benefit of having a clippers. Of course I know it. At the moment I haven't get one, because apart from getting a cycling shoe, you need to get a clip and change the pedal. It will cost you a few $100s. So before that, why not having a runners? It's still comfy and does the work. I'm not sure wearing a helmet on a ride in Victoria is compulsory, but I do wear one to reduce the risk of serious brain and head injuries by reducing the impact of the force or collision to the head during magpie breeding season. It is also a good protection from the attack. Adding zip tie on the helmet can also deter determined magpies. Although it does look silly, but it is a good, cheap, classic strategy. A lot of people think that riding with sunglasses on makes you look cool. Oh well, sometimes it does when you have a cool looking sunglasses. Anyway, apart from UV protection, it helps to prevent the wind blown into your eyes, and the wind might be carrying dust or debris. Or maybe you might get hit in the eyes by insects, especially the flies during the summer period. I had a very awful experience of getting hit in the eyes by an insect, a dragonfly. in some unpleasant weather condition, I would consider having a cycling jacket or windbreaker. It is good to have one like this in a colder climate, but make sure it is waterproof, not like the cotton one. This is to prevent your jacket being soaked up by rainwater during the raining days. In some situations during the hot day, especially strong UV, it's always good to apply sunblock. So there's another solution that I would do, an UV protection sleeve. It actually helped me to prevent the skin directly exposed to the UV.
Woo, bye-bye.
What I bring along. As I mentioned earlier, keeping hydrated is very important. It is really comfortable to have a good cycling backpack, especially those with sternum strap and hip belt. It gives you a really good balance while carrying a backpack on a ride. So what's the benefit of having a backpack during a ride? Especially long distance ride. It enables you to carry some important stuff which I'm going to mention later. Having additional underseat bag or frame bag can also help you to reduce the weight from your backpack. Never be too confident about your bike condition even you have done a pre-ride check. I always bring some spare parts and tools during my ride, such as spare inner tube, patch kit, CO2 inflator, tire levers, and multi-tools. In my experience, it is necessary to have these tools and supplies in case of any minor breakdowns occurs. Carry a pump in your bag may not seem like a good idea, but it is vital for a ride, regardless of whether it is a long distance ride or a short distance ride. Recently, I found that having a CO2 inflator is a lot more convenient. It is easy to carry and light in weights. The best part is they inflated your tires in seconds. Of course, if you insist to carry a physical pump, get a small pump like this. Just a quick tip for you, don't just pack a pump without knowing how to use it. Who doesn't love snacks? A snack is important to be packed on a long ride to make sure to keep your energy level up. I don't mean by bringing chips or nachos. The best snacks that I reckon is banana. The potassium and the carbohydrate from the banana is great for fueling your muscle. Apart from bananas, I do bring energy gel. Energy gel is easily and quickly absorbed with minimal effect on the digestive system to replace lost energy. Some nuts bar will be good as well if you feel hungry and you can't find a cafe yet. Sometimes I will bring energy drinks as well during the hot day, as it helps to refill any electrolytes lost in my sweat. I may feel good in this minute, but my energy level can be rapidly dropped in the next minute. One fancy thing that I will bring is snake, not the real snake. I meant the lorry snake. So snake can be digested quickly. It is a great way to immediately replenish depleted glycogen. I don't really like to carry wallet if I go for a ride. Why do I want to carry unnecessary cards in my wallet during a ride, such as flybys, Dan Murphy cards, Rebel Sport cards? So main thing, I only bring 3 types of cards: my credit card, my key, and my driving license. So in case I need to buy some snacks, coffee, drinks, or top up my key, or even I need to pay for my bike repair if my bike is broken and I found a nearby bike shop. Of course you need something to pay, and I don't believe people will bring a lot of cash during the ride. So my key obviously is for public transport usage. So for driving license, it is helpful for emergency personnel to verify who you are if you're unable to speak for yourself. I don't usually bring a lot of first aid equipment, but I do believe it is important to bring some band-aids and gauze along your ride. A fully charged mobile phone is very important for a long distance ride. In the unfortunate event where you're involved in the accident, dialing 000 through your mobile phone is the way. And do you know the function of the camera on your mobile phone is not only for you to take selfies and wonderful scenery photos. It is also an important function for you to take any photographic evidence that could prove invaluable in a later day. Or maybe if you have any mechanical issue or get caught out of dark, then calling a friend or family member to pick you up is the best way of last resort. There's also something that I think might be useful, but I will not bring in all the time. For example, power bank. Of course, you don't have to bring all of them. Maybe just bring one. So usually I will bring a power bank if my ride is more than 3 hours. Just a reminder, make sure you bring the cable as well. If there's a potential unpleasant weather, bringing an extra t-shirt is very useful. It can be used to change when it's raining or soaking with hot sweat. The last thing I may consider to bring will be after spot spray. I believe it is important if you plan to dine in a cafe or restaurant, or you plan to jump on a public transport after you complete your ride, as it won't be pleasant for others commuters or diners suffering from your odor. Of course, extra t-shirt can also solve this problem. Okay, everything's ready now. What are we waiting for? Of course, it's time for a ride. Before I go, don't forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe my channel. I will see you on my next adventure. Bye bye.